And did you sign it?
I'm kind of advising some of these rates. Kind of explain, I've read all and understand the number of paragraphs, but I kind of don't get some of this.
Okay, that's fair. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over it with you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's no problem. You have the right to be represented by a lawyer. If you cannot afford to pay for a lawyer, to have one provided at public expense. Just so you know, Mr. Richard Davies is in the courtroom to represent you today.
Okay.
You have the right to have a lawyer present during any questioning. You have the right to stop answering questions at any time, even if you have started to answer questions without asking for a lawyer, but any statement you make may be used at trial against you. You have the right to speak in public trial by an impartial jury, the right to remain silent before and during trial, and the right not to testify against yourself. You have the right to hear and question witnesses at trial who testify against you. You have the right to call witnesses to testify for you at trial. You are presumed innocent until any accusation is proved by evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, or you decide to enter a plea of guilty, and you have the right to appeal a finding of guilt after trial. You were charged with one count of theft in the 3rd degree. That is a gross misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. It alleges that an incident happened on or about June 8th, 2023 in Jefferson County. I've reviewed the probable cause statement or the police report that's associated with your allegation, Mr. Davies.
So Judge, I'll enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Arn's behalf.
Can I just say something, ma'am?
Okay, so Mr. Arns, you are being recorded today, so anything that you say in this court can be used, just a moment, please, can be used against you. I don't know, Mr. Davies, if you'd like to make any statements to your client.
Well, so Mr. Arns, Richard Davies here. My advice is that you not say anything at this point.
It was right in front of the free bottle drop. I give free stuff there all the time. All the time.
But you were free to ignore my advice, yes.
Okay. So I am finding probable cause and I'm entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf. We'll set conditions of release.
Can I get my bail reduced, please?
So Mr. Arns, what I need you to do is just listen to what the recommendation of Ms. Kleiman is.
No, let me out.
Mr. Arns, I need you to listen to what Ms. Kleiman is going to say and what Mr. Davies is going to say, and then I'm going to rule on conditions of release. Ms. Kleiman, your recommendations.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm requesting to set bail in the amount of $1,000. Mr. Arndt has 3 other warrants currently active out of Olympia, Tacoma, and King County. He also had a case recently out of this court, which is a post-conviction matter, there are other matters still pending out of Seattle Municipal Court, but I can't currently see whether those are on warrant or currently active because they use a different program than I'm able to see. Bail is appropriate here based on potential issues of failure to appear. I
made my court dates the entire last time. I bailed out for $100.
Okay, so Mr. Arndt, I'm going to instruct that you not say anything right now. It's Ms. Kleiman's turn to talk. Go ahead, Ms. Kleiman.
When is it our turn to talk? Ever.
Okay, if you cannot let Ms. Kleiman talk, I'm going to ask the jail to mute you so that way we can go ahead and proceed. Right now, it's Ms. Kleiman's turn to talk, not yours. Go ahead, Ms. Kleiman.
I'm also asking for conditions that he not have any new criminal law violations and have no contact with the bottle shop at 305 Kearney Street in Port Townsend.
Okay, Mr. Davies.
All right, so Judge, Mr. Arndt, you're going to get a chance to talk here in a moment, all right? When you do, what I suggest you do is just talk to the judge about conditions of release, not what did or didn't happen. So Judge, the charge is theft in the 3rd degree. He allegedly, was loading up a bicycle out in front of the Bottle Me, which I think is the name of the shop, the owner of that, Russell West, well known to, well, JAC and the court, you know, a condition that says that he's not to go within, say, 250 feet of the model me, and appear as required, I think is sufficient. I represented Mr. Arns back earlier in the year on the disorderly conduct charge. As I recall, and Mr. Arns, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is that he's been in this community since about 2019, doesn't have, you know, any criminal history except for that disorderly conduct that he pled guilty to earlier in the year. You know, so he's somebody that can and has you know, complied with the rules of our little community here. And so I'd ask the court release him on his promise to appear at the next court date, and that he not go within 250 feet of debauchery or have any contact with the owner of that business, Mr. Russell West.
Man, I get free stuff there all the time. We're standing right in front of the honor box. Okay, I apologize for getting mad.
Okay, I did take a look at the previous case that was filed in Jefferson County District Court. There was one failure to appear, but that was, it appears to be a mistake as to what time the court hearing was supposed to be. Mr. Russell, or Mr. Arns, I need to get through this hearing. I need you to let me talk.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I also took a look at the warrant history, and while that is concerning to the court, those warrants are somewhat older in time. And so because Mr. Arns did appear relatively consistently at the other case, I am going to release Mr. Arns with some conditions. Mr. Arns is to have no criminal law violations. He's to have no contact with the bottle shop or go within 250 feet of the bottle shop, and he's to have no contact with Russell B. West. The next court date will be July 26th at 8:45 with a jury trial of August 10th at 8:30. I am going to make that court date a necessary hearing. So what that means, Mr. Arns, is you do have to be present either on Zoom or in person at that hearing, or a warrant could issue for your arrest. Those are the conditions of release that I'm placing on you.
So, Judge, can I make one comment? You know, when I came up with that 250 feet, you know, I'm not sure if the penny saver is within that. Certainly, if it was 100 feet, he, you know, basically you wouldn't be able to go to that park across the street from the bottle shop.
I'm not going to talk to this douchebag. I have no intention of talking to this douchebag. It was a simple misunderstanding. I've gotten free stuff there. I've known this is free stuff.
Okay, so Mr. Arns, I understand that you have a point of view on what happened or didn't happen in this particular case. I have found probable cause, Mr. Arns, I have found probable cause for this case to go forward. And so I'm going to appoint Jefferson Associated Counsel to represent you. I'll grant that request, Mr. Davies, and reduce that to 100 feet.
Right, thank you.
But I am putting those conditions of release on you, Mr. Arns. So you are required to comply with those. If you do not comply with the conditions of release, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Thank you.